my attention has been focused a lot on what's happening in Israel. This is Israel's 9/11. There's no doubt about it that this attack was in the same vein as the attack against America on 9/11. They attack a way of life. They attack people for who they are. This is not a military assault. This was on the people of Israel. There was not a political statement. This was not about land. This was about the annihilation of a race of people, period. And so I've been focused on this for educational reasons and awareness. I understand. I'm not a hateful person, I don't think, in my heart. I look at people as almost confused in the messages that they've heard, and it's my prayer that they'll do just a little bit of homework. College campuses are filled with people that are making anti-Semitic statements that are, without a doubt, they are horribly anti-Semitic, racist comments. And I went into this rant last time I talked about this. What happened to the Jewish people on October 7th should scare the hell out of everybody in this world. Hamas screams death to the Jews, as does Hezbollah, as do the Houthis, as do the Iranians. They also, in unison, scream death to America. They have us connected. Now, we can go down the road of the possibility of a terrorist attack internally because of the open border and the terror watch list. That is a direction for conversation. But it's about resolve. I want you to hear something. The mayor, rarely do I say you should do something. You should listen to the interview with Jason Beck, the mayor of Peoria, that we did this morning. Listen to his description of what he just witnessed in his trip to Israel. Now, this is not a shrinking violet of a man. He is a Marine. He served his country. As he says in the interview, he has seen some horrible things. Nothing more horrible than what he witnessed. But I want you to hear about the rapport, this town that he was in, which is very close to Gaza. And he was in this town walking house to house. He describes the town earlier in the interview. But the day before the attacks on October 6th, the relationship between the Israelis in this small town and the Palestinians and the people from Gaza that would come into this town to work, this is the relationship on October 6th.
The workers that were in this town and the workers that were actually in the fields had received work permits, and almost all of them were Palestinian. Right? They were all from the Gaza specifically, and this community was really an outpouring towards the workers that they were there. They treated them like family. They actually gave them food to take back to their family the day before, because there had been a big dinner the day before.
So then the next day, he was talking about Hamas.
The people that came in from Hamas and assaulted them had been overwatching them. They had infiltrated their village. They had looked at where certain key points were. I mean, this was years in the planning. And they infiltrated this community like they did every single community there. And they knew who specifically were going to be the people that actually fought and defended the kibbutz. They knew the people that they wanted to take out. They knew the children that they wanted to. They had a list of children that they actually, and women that they actually wanted to both rape and also capture and take back as hostages.
So that sets the tone. America is the same kind of a nation. We are accused of being oppressors. We are accused by the people in the world that hate us of all of these things. There is a huge population of Arabs, Muslims that live, and Christians and Jews that live side by side in Israel. And the Arabs that live in that country live in peace. They live with all of the same rights and comforts and privileges as do the Israelis. And they have a great rapport. There's over 1 million of them in Israel. And I've asked this question, and I mean it respectfully. I vehemently disagree and think the horrible racist comments that are being made are reprehensible and unacceptable. But I'm trying to just ask people to do their own homework. Ask yourself, how can that many Arabs, how can that many non-Jews that live side by side with the Jewish people and thrive in that situation, how do you call the Israelis an apartheid state? when you go and go look on a map, go look at where Lebanon is to the north, and go look where Jordan is, and Syria, and Iran in proximity, in Iraq in proximity, Egypt in proximity to the people of Israel, and then find out, because it's an easy search online, of how many Jews live in those countries. And the number is minimal. In some places it's zero, because they're not allowed. They wouldn't survive. And then you say that the Jewish state, that Israel is an apartheid nation. It sounds good. It's a sound bite. It makes it sound familiar, and it sounds. But in the end, what happened on October 7th was reprehensible. And now I'm going to go down this road for just a moment, but I don't want to use bad language, and it's not about being crass. But at UCLA, they had a piñata with I believe it was Netanyahu. It's too far away to really see, but it was an Israeli leader in effigy on a piñata, and they were beating it with a stick like you do with a piñata. And this video is about 1 minute long, and they're screaming and hollering while they're doing this. And in the crowd, you can hear someone yelling, "Beat that effing Jew." Now, college campuses have become a safe space, and the wokeism that goes on college campuses and intolerant speech. And on these college campuses, if you replace the word Jew in that statement and on that video with a racial slur for African Americans or Hispanic or Asians, there is not a person on that campus that would allow that to go on, and anybody involved in that video would be thrown off that campus and never allowed back. But because it's against the Jews, somehow it's free speech and tolerable. I'm not talking about the law. I'm not talking about arresting. I'm talking about what they tolerate on college campuses. The message of hate, again, replace the word. You can find the video online. I didn't post it because it's, dropping the F-bomb, and I just figured it wouldn't be polite to share. But you can find it very easily. And then you replace the word in that video, replace the word Jew with any racial slur that comes into your mind, and you tell me that a college campus would tolerate it. The answer is they never would. They never would. Racism is racism is racism. And this is about a part of this world that is dead set on wiping out a race of people. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is encouraging the Israelis to drop the idea of wiping out Hamas. Hamas says they're going to wipe out Israel. They say that they will repeat October 7th over and over again until the Jewish people are annihilated. Hezbollah to the north, you've got Iran, who is saying that it is inevitable that the expanse of this war is going to happen. And yet you've got leaders in our country trying to tie the hands of the Israelis. They weren't the aggressors. There was not just coexistence. There was peace with many people in Gaza and the Jews that were slaughtered. And now you want to tie their hands and discourage them from defending their nation. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.